Hi, I'm Roxana Fiamma, your coach and partner in Leadership Evolution. I work with high achieving professionals from around the world, especially non-native English speakers who want to feel more at home in the leadership voice. And if you found your way here, chances are that you've already done a lot. You've built a successful career and you communicate well, but maybe there's still a gap, a sense that you're not quite expressing yourself with the clarity and the ease and the authenticity that you want, especially in English. And that is where I come in. I help people reconnect with their voice and lead with the confidence and the presence and the impact that they cherish to have without feeling like they have to become someone else in order to do that. My work isn't one-dimensional. It moves through layers of language and embodiment and regenerative sovereign leadership. Let me show you how that journey unfolds. Tier 1, fluent English, breaking through the plateau. This is where we begin breaking through that frustrating plateau in your English fluency. You'll know what I mean. If you're a non-native English speaker at an intermediate level or an upper intermediate level, that's B1, B2, you've likely hit a point where progress feels slow or even stuck. You know what you want to say, but getting the words out smoothly, especially in high-stake moments, can be a struggle. And at B1 stage, that's the intermediate level, it's often about speaking without hesitation. And you might find yourself searching for words and not being present when somebody is speaking with you, and you're scrambling inside your head to get ahead and trying to answer that person, and you're not really listening to them. So you're losing momentum, or you're feeling like the mechanics of the language are getting in the way of your message. And in meeting and presentation, that can feel overwhelming. At B2 level, that is the upper intermediate level, the challenge shifts. You're more confident because you have a wider knowledge of the vocabulary, but maybe you sound a little bit overly formal. And yes, you're communicating fluently, but it doesn't feel natural yet. You might find it harder to build rapport, to be fully present in fast-moving conversations. And if you've recently stepped into a leadership role where you're operating on a higher level and using English a lot more, you're leading meetings, attending international conference, and navigating small talk over dinner, the pressure becomes even higher. Keeping up with English all day can be draining. And you might worry that you're not showing up as the leader you know yourself to be. Tier 2 is fluent self, reconnecting with your authentic voice, and it's worked together with Tier 1. This is the next step in your communication journey, and it's about reconnecting with yourself, what I sometimes call influency. And this is a shift from how do I say this correctly to what do I really want to say, and how do I say it in a way that feels true to me first, so that you feel you're relating to your audience more authentically. So that's less about performance and more about expression. And at this stage, we begin to bridge your inner world with your outer expression. It's about learning to trust your authentic voice and speak from a place of clarity, like groundedness and connection with yourself first. And we therefore explore the somatic aspect of communication, how your body and your breath and intuition all shape the way you express yourself. Here, you need to make that jump from always being in your head to being more in your body. And you're learning to tap into sensation rather than thought. And this seems to be a challenge for many people because we're not used to be in the body anymore. We're always in our head. And so it takes a little bit of time for some people to 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 stay grounded in your body and um, to control or actually to let go of that tendency to go back to the story. But as I said, it takes a little bit of time, but the effort pays off every time. Here is important to make a subtle distinction between the subconscious and the unconscious. Because somatic awareness is not the same as unconscious reactivity. These two often get mixed up, even by experienced coaches in the leadership space. But they're fundamentally different. When your body gets into fight or flight mode, your heart is racing, the voice is tightening, your mind goes blank, the mouth goes dry. That's all about your unconscious reaction play. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a real threat, real physical threat of a tiger in front of you about to jump and eat you, and the perceived threat of speaking in public or being challenged in a meeting. Part of our work here is to learn how to recognize those subconscious somatic patterns in real time, and then we regulate your nervous system and return to a grounded conscious state so that you can speak from choice, not reaction. So here you begin to tune in, noticing what feels aligned and what doesn't as you speak. And that's powerful because this is where communication becomes less about performance and more about presence. Language here is building the invisible scaffolding of your perceived identity. So it's not about the words that you use outwardly. It's about how you relate yourself first. It's that inner dialogue that you're now approaching and you're relating to with more presence. Because the way you speak to yourself shapes the way you speak to others. So you become kinder to yourself. I noticed this shift in people. When your voice and your body are in sync, your attitude shifts. Your message carries more weight because it's not preaching. And so you connect with people with more ease and more impact. And you sound more natural, more conversational, and more connected in spite of your accent, wherever you are, whether you're leading a team meeting or presenting to a room or sharing old stories. And in spite of your accent, I just said, because personally, I think that your accent is not a liability. It's actually your branding. And we'll explore that in this tier. This is fluency that goes deeper than language. It's fluency in who you are. And these first two tiers are blended in together in my main program, Directing Expression for non-native English-speaking professionals. Tier 3, Fluent in Power, leading with sovereignty and authenticity. This is the final step, and it's fluent power, where your leadership comes from deep alignment, from integrity and embodied wisdom. This stage is for those who are ready to go inward, to truly see, face, and even lovingly relate to what they've been running away from. Whether you're a non-native English speaker or a native speaker, if you're ready to deepen your presence, this work is for you. Together, we explore the unconscious patterns and the root programs that are shaping your leadership style through trauma-informed, somatic release and archetype mapping. We use primal archetypes to help you shine a light on the hidden forces that guide how you lead and the decisions that you make. This energy work helps you release old patterns that no longer serve you, patterns that you've been wanting to get rid of, but never knew how. You start seeing the mechanics of the unconscious and start working with it. And when you release old patterns, you actually free space for the energy of your authentic, your new energy, your authentic power and the sovereignty that to emerge. This work takes time. And here you step fully into your role as a leader, not by force or performance, but by consciously owning your truth with clarity, with courage and compassion. The kind of compassion that's grounded, that's courageous, far from sentimental. Because I think we've learned to mute ourselves for the sake of being professional. But if you think about it, when you're communicating with someone who's muting, which is repressing, it's not authentic, and therefore it doesn't foster trust. It doesn't inspire trust, and you cannot relate to that person. So being courageous in leading with authenticity means to be courageous to show your feelings, not in a toxic way, in a drama and a negative way, but when you show your feelings, you learn to lead from a place of self-accountability, making decisions with confidence and engaging with others with genuine presence. Fluent power allows you to lead with integrity. This is where the integrity comes from, and ease, inspiring others, not simply through your authority, but through your authentic presence, embodied presence. As a regenerative leader, you first relate to yourself in a regenerative way. And so you're nurturing your own growth and healing. And my work is trauma informed because we all have wounds that need to be healed. And so nurturing your own growth and healing comes before you're extending this consciousness into the world. And then the rest becomes easy because we're all like the seed of a plant or a tree. We grow from within before we become a collective forest. In this way, this shift enables you to foster that emerging paradigm of a regenerative economy, moving away from extractive practices to those that nurture and replenish the ecosystem of both your industry and the world at large, including your community, your family, your loved ones. This is where your journey culminates. It's immense. Fluency in English, fluent self, fluent power, ready to lead from an inner conviction and bring forth new regenerative ideas to the world. That's exciting, and it's time for that. The world needs that kind of leadership now. So if you're ready to go beyond the plateau, to speak fluently from within and lead with true embodied power, I'm here to guide you through every stage of the journey. Whether you're here to deepen your fluency or step into the next evolution of who you're here to be, this work will meet you where you are. You can click below when you're ready to begin and have a free discovery session with me with no obligation and gain some powerful insight in the process, no matter what you'll choose to do after that. Either way, I thank you for being here. The next chapter starts with you.